Hi, welcome to the Aortic Kitchen. I'm Rob Seltzer, the Aortic Chef,
I'm Mindy Seltzer, the aortic dietitian.
and we are here once again for Aortic Hope to show you how to cook healthy and remain healthy and strong without using any additional salt. So, tonight, since we're in the holiday season, we are going to do a presentation on Thanksgiving, and most of it's about the bird. I'm going to be working on how to prep a turkey, get it ready, some little facts about turkeys, and then how to carve a turkey once it's cooked. Mindy is going to do a
I'm going to
special
make a
side dish.
little dish instead of always using just sweet potatoes and marshmallows. We put a little tweak into it. I used pumpkin, cream cheese, eggs, egg whites, and noodles. And if you remember last time we made the apple pudding, well, this is a pumpkin pudding. You could also use squash or any other soft vegetable that you would like and season it as you like. So I put all the ingredients together, the eggs, the cream cheese, the pumpkin, and I just want to
Brown
make sure
sugar.
brown sugar, 2 tablespoons, and then my butter.
Don't worry about the.
So, and then I'm going to put on my feeder blades. I have a bowl here that you can see. I already whipped the egg whites. I had 2 separate egg whites they whipped up, and that helps make it fluffier. It makes it more pudding-like.
What actually are you making, Mindy?
I am making a pumpkin noodle pudding.
Thank you. Also known to other people as a
A kugel.
kugel, a pumpkin kugel.
So you can do the kugels all different ways. Some people make it with dairy. Some people make it with just fruits. I'm a fruit person, but we tried this already.
It's fruity, we know that.
And be quiet, dear. And we already tried this once already, so we know it's good.
Well, while they're mixing that, I just want to say hi, Tom. Hi, Katie. Hi, Shauna. Thanks for visiting with us today.
Yeah, so while Mindy's busy mixing, yeah, we do try to test all of our recipes. Hopefully, we're giving you pre-tested and tasted recipes. So
I beat them all together. The original recipe had cottage cheese, and we sort of didn't like it that much, so I used cream cheese, Neuchâtel cream cheese this time.
Yep.
So I blended it all together. It doesn't have to be perfect.
lumps will melt.
Lumps will turn into the mixture. I'm going to pour the egg whites in. I also pre-cooked the noodles and put a little bit of butter, or actually olive oil, on them so they wouldn't stick together. And that just saved me time. I didn't have to make everything all at once. And I'm going to take some of the noodles, and I'm going to mix some of the noodles into the sauce so it will turn into pudding eventually. I'm just going to give it a little stir. And everything at this point, you want to try to keep those egg whites as fluffy as you can. So you're just basically folding everything in with the spoon. And I'm doing it slowly so I don't break them up into nothing and it becomes flat. I weighed out the noodles depending on which brand you buy. They're going to be a 12-ounce package or a 16-ounce package. I just used half the package.
That's for a 8x8
8
baking
by
dish.
8 pan.
And the recipe we're going to post is going to be for a 9x13. So we would use an entire package. It'll be a larger recipe because it's planned for Thanksgiving. So hopefully you have family and friends, or you're taking a dish over to someone else's house, and this would be a nice one to take. So it's enough for even up to 20 people with an aortic kitchen size portion. You can always take a second piece, but we'll take a 9x13 and cut it into 20. And Mindy will be able to cut this one.
I can cut this into anything.
12. Yeah, we can cut them as small as we want, but really it's.
People used to ask me why, when I served and I was cooking for people for the synagogue or wherever we happened to be, and they go, "Oh, well, I want a bigger piece than that." I said, smaller pieces, we can always get seconds. And that way, when you have 150 people to feed, it goes pretty well.
And this way, we're also watching the sodium content and
Calories.
We got this down to about 240 calories a serving.
Serving.
The original one that we were inspired by had 584 calories per serving. So we've really cut it in half, reduced the sodium by almost 80%. It's down in I think it's below 100 milligrams of sodium.
Part of that was cutting out the cottage cheese.
Yeah, because cottage cheese, we talked earlier today, if you're at hangouts, you know how cottage cheese is like 600 milligrams of sodium in a serving. It's terrible.
Which is a half a cup.
So we try to do other things and the cream cheese actually makes it creamier and lighter and makes a better pudding, more
I also
cheesecake.
sneak it into my rice pudding when I make it and take away some of the butter. Now you can see it's all covered. And one of the things I like to do, because I'm a sweet person, if you wanted to, you could sprinkle your marshmallows on top after we bake it for a little while.
We're going to bake it for about 45, 50 minutes.
I'm going to drizzle some maple syrup.
Now, I'm going to throw a little thing in there. If you don't want it sweet, if you're not the type of person, you know, one that hates that sweet potatoes with marshmallows.
Sugar.
Yeah, we can always go savory. This would be, since it's pumpkin, this is kind of like a deconstructed pumpkin ravioli, which was normally served with brown butter and sage. So you could brown the butter and put fresh sage into it to bake, and it would be absolutely delicious. Now, Mindy's putting it into a 350-degree preheated oven, and we have it set for
55 minutes.
Well, I'm going.
You can lower it
50.
Yeah, lower it to 45
to 50.
So go 45.
We'll check it.
Yeah. So once you get used to recipes, you can modify them. Like I looked at these noodles and I go, these are like the other noodles I had because these are wide noodles, but they were all curly cute. The other noodles I bought were more flat noodles. You can use anything. If you wanted to, you could actually use spaghetti,
penne,
linguine, any of the short goods, macaronis. Be interesting. You can, you could call it macaroni and cheese, so sort of, because there is cream cheese in it.
Right.
Got a lot of hidden flavors. So I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
Right, and I'm going to need the sink. So
let me just
set your stuff over there.
I will just get this going.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Chef Rob here. Okay, I'm going to talk about turkey. Let's talk turkey. I should have practiced that line ahead of time. But we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to prep a turkey. Now, you can get different types of turkey, different sizes of turkeys. Really important that you read your labels. I like to use smaller hens, they're called, hen turkeys, and those are usually 10 to 12 to 14 pound range. The tom turkeys, the males, those are the ones that are over 20 pounds, 2022s, 2022, 24s, and bigger. I find the hens just much easier to deal with. I'd rather cook 2 hens than 1 big tom turkey. They cook faster, and I just find them juicier and more tender than the big tom turkeys. So, but the important thing for us as survivors is to, we say all the time, read labels. So now I left this turkey in the original packaging. I have even prepped it so I can show it to you. And hopefully you'll be able to read this. Okay, now I'll cut off the net, get it out of the way so you can read. Because turkeys today, just like many chickens, if you're not careful, are what I call it from the industry pumped. All right. And pumped means that they're filled with salt solution, saline solution. And they're done like that for 2 reasons. One, because let's look at the profit margin sideways, because you're paying for salt water rather than turkey. Okay. Now, the big brand turkeys that you see out there have up to 22% saline solution. That means 1/5 of the weight, almost 1/4 of the weight of what you're buying is salt water. So basically it's pre-brined. And you talk about brining turkeys if you're going to smoke them and such. So these are basically pre-brine. That's way too much. And then when it cooks, all that water comes out and the turkey looks smaller and so on. But you can get other turkeys. Now, this one, which was from our local grocery store in the South, well, Publix is almost everywhere
Up to
east,
Virginia.
but they're getting up there. So this one, if you look right here on the line, it says contains up to 8% of a solution of turkey broth, salt, and sodium phosphate flavorings. Okay, an extract of pepper and celery. That's the flavorings, but it's got only 8% compared to 22% of some of these other brands of turkey. And that's the big one that has the big top up. You know, it's all over TV. It's got something about butter with it. Okay, and the other one, some girl
You
named
want the popper?
Jenny, and so on. So
Want the pop-up?
we want to read that. Yeah, so the little pop-up timers, you guys have seen these inside the turkeys, and I will show that. So I'm going to take this over to this.
Say ready to cook
Yeah, well,
on the label.
I wanted to do this in the label, in the bag also, because
I
we have lots of stories. Mindy has a great one, and I have similar ones. But go ahead, tell them about your
Well,
story.
my next door neighbor was from Armenia, and it was her first Thanksgiving. So she was excited being in America and wanted to buy a turkey. So she bought a turkey. She didn't ask for any help or anything. She flipped over the bag because she could read English, and it said ready to cook. So she took this turkey as is, put it in the oven, and set it for 350 degrees to cook for her family's Thanksgiving.
Yep, didn't even unwrap it.
The plastic was still on the bird.
Yeah, so
So I'm next door going, I smell plastic burning.
Okay.
And I had to run over and
if you'll
turn off our
grab
stove.
the bag and
I will.
try to take it without spilling.
I will.
Or I can give you another bag.
I've got it.
Got it? Okay. So here's our bird. Now, it's still not ready for the oven, okay? We got a lot of things to do with this turkey. Turn it back around because I want you to see some things. Notice, it looks pretty good. I'm not even going to take it at the sink to wash it, okay? FDA and USDA, and I've done this way back in one of our very first shows, recommends that you do not wash poultry, and your proteins, because what normally happens, you put this thing in the sink, you turn on the water. I mean, you're going to wash that turkey, but what happens? It splashes and the water goes all over. It goes into your other side of the sink. It goes up on the counter next to the sink, and you're spreading bacteria around your kitchen. So any bacteria that are in here will be destroyed in the oven when you cook it. You cook it to 165 degrees, which is the final cooking temperature that we want. And it stays there for 30 seconds, that will destroy any and all unsafe bacteria, whether it's salmonella or E. coli. They will be destroyed at that point. Okay, that's why it's very important that we work with the internal temperature of the turkey, and I'll show you how to do that. But you don't really need to wash it, but you do need to clean it. Okay, now a couple of things. You notice here on the legs, what, Mindy?
I just learned something. It tells us not to take that plastic piece out.
Really?
It does.
Well, we have to. So this one says,
Just take the legs out.
do not remove clamp from turkey, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not sold. I'm not sold.
Never tried it.
I don't like cooking with plastic in my turkey. Okay. I don't know about you, but that kind of bothers me, having a piece of plastic in there. Now, maybe it's heat resistant and, or it could be food safe, but, we've heard a lot about plastics and microplastics and everything else. So I'm still in the camp of taking it out. And you still got to get the legs out so that you can get inside the turkey, because there's a surprise in there. Now,
Yeah.
I'm using kitchen shears. I use them a lot with my turkey. And Mindy, would you grab the other pair? You're right. They were okay.
They were.
So we have two. The red one, Mindy's going to show it to you because I don't want to get them dirty. So there's a pair of kitchen shears.
Hold on, I'm there.
Okay, that came with my other knife set, and also just a regular pair of kitchen shears, right? When you're doing poultry, this kind of comes a problem, though, because you can't really clean them well. Inside that hinge, you can get little bits of bacteria and meat and so on. Put them in the dishwasher. It's basically sanitized, but there's still gunk in there. What you want to do, if you're going to get kitchen shears and a good pair, get one like this. Now, see this? Comes apart into two pieces. There are no hidden areas of this scissors. So you can wash it, put it in the dishwasher, wash it by hand, but you get every single part and it will be totally sanitary. So just a safe way to go, find kitchen shears that come apart. And I can tell you the brand. There are several brands. This is one of the ones that I like. I talk about their knives all the time. So that's Mercer. So I'm just going to cut this little plastic thing.
Health one has a set.
Try not to cut my finger off.
Need any assistance, dear?
Nope.
They did say you didn't have to take it off.
Right. But I
But
do.
you still have to take the legs out. Does say that.
Okay. Got that out of the way. Yeah, it's still a little icy here.
Which is okay.
This has been thawing since, I don't know, Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, Sunday. Monday in the refrigerator. You want to figure about 30, no, how many a day for every couple pounds. There's that one, I apologize, I don't remember. Okay, so, oh, look at this. There's a present in here. I'm going to show you how to take that thing out. But look what's inside. See, I've had people also take the turkey out of the bag, season it, and then just throw it in the oven. And then when they go to carve it, they say, "What's with this paper bag?" Oh my goodness. So if you have never done a turkey, most of you know what this is. This is where they put all the other parts. Depending. Now this one they shorted us, you see. All I have in here is a giblet. That's the, birds eat, especially chickens and turkeys, eat off out of the dirt, and they swallow a lot of stones, small pebbles, and those aid in their digestion of the hard things, the bugs and the corn or whatever you're feeding them to help break it down. That's why they have like 3 stomachs. And the giblet, the gizzard, is one of those stomachs. And this is where the pebbles go. But they make really good. Now, I did another turkey earlier today. I see this one has a really beautiful liver, the giblets, and the heart still. Okay, I'm saving that to cook for the dogs. Some people like the giblet gravy and cook that later. Okay, now I'm going to go in here and see if there's another surprise. Oh, those darn guys. They cheated me. Because usually you'll find.
So is this a male or a female?
How do I know? Well, it's a hen. It's a female. Okay, but there's no neck. The neck's a really important part of the turkey, and they kind of gypped us. I mean, we're getting more turkey weight this way, but the neck, that's great for your stock. I put it in the roasting pan underneath the turkey so that it enriches the pan drippings and everything, and becomes part of the sauce that we make later. Or you can just boil it with the other parts to make a nice little stovetop stock. Now, to get this thing out, though, is very difficult. That's probably why they're telling you not to take it out, because way down in here, if you can see behind this, see down here, plastics back here, they have it hooked behind the hip bones. So you got to really get your hand in there and yank. And there it is. There's that whole piece of plastic, okay, that I just really don't like. If you really want to bring the legs back together, you can take some string and tie them together. But not my thing. Okay. So I just really don't care for that. Now, all I need to do first is, if I was over at the sink, I would turn this thing over, and I'm going to do that on this pan, and I'm going to dump out a lot of this melt. That's here. Okay. All right, you can sit in it, Mindy.
Okay.
And then I trim a little bit. Take my shears, or my knife. Knife's better for this, but I got the shears here. We'll get the knife in a minute, please. I don't care. The bony knife is here. That's good. I got it. Start from the other. You don't need these big pieces of fat. There's some of that. I also take off what my mother and her father fondly referred to as the part that went over the fence last. Okay, and that's it's not the tush. It's the
where all the feathers.
It's the feathers, the tail, where all the tail feathers are. Now some people do keep it because you can kind of tuck it in here to keep the cavity closed after you put stuff in there. So either way, some people like to chew on it. It's got nice fatty and tender meat, so it's okay. Um, got a little extra stuff here. You try to clean this stuff up. Okay, we don't need all that extra fat. Also, now on the other side, this is where the neck was down here, but you have your wings. Now, you can do two things depending on how you're going to cook your bird. So, nobody eats the wingtips, right? Nobody eats these. They're just nothing good. But you can take them and tuck them under, just kind of force it there, and bend it back under the rest of the wing. See? And it kind of makes the turkey stand up a little bit. So when you roast it, it fights a little bit. But you just wrap it around there. See how I put it under there? Let me do that again. See? We take it, pull it out a little bit, stick it under there, and put it back. Now, it kind of helps support the turkey so it keeps it up a little bit. All right. Or the other one I did today, I sometimes like to cut them off ahead of time because we don't use them anyways. And then I throw them under in the bottom of the pan, again, to enrich that stock. That's going to be underneath the turkey. Or they just go out. All right. Great. Now, what are we going to do with it? Do we dress turkeys? Do we stuff turkeys anymore? No. All right. You can make dressing in a separate container. Make it and bake it separately in a bowl, some sort of baking dish, your bread dressing or cornbread dressing or whatever else. We don't make stuffing. That's why I try not to call it stuffing anymore, because we shouldn't stuff it inside the turkey. Why? Well, it makes the turkey take almost twice as long to cook because you fill this cavity with this dense goo, and that has to be 165 degrees as well because it's inside the bird and now it's contaminated. So you got to get that up to temperature as well, and it's in the center. So better that we leave this cavity more airy. We can put aromatics in there, which is what I'm going to do to help make the turkey taste better. But then we're going to do the dressing on a separate, because by the time that's done, the rest of the turkey is going to be overdone and dry. We don't want this thing to go 200, 225 degrees. Also, now this one, look at that. This one does not have a pop-up timer. So I'll bring that back.
Yeah.
Because you guys have seen these little timers in your turkeys. They jam them in here. Where'd I get this one from? The other turkey. Because I always pull them out. And you can leave it in. You just have to learn to ignore it. They are set, which is really, I think they are the temperature that these things pop up at is set by the attorneys, by the liability lawyers, not by the chefs.
Or 180.
Okay. I don't, they're talking now when you read, and they're telling you to cook your birds to 180 degrees, not 165, which is way overdone, because then there's carryover cooking. When you take it out of the oven, it's going to keep cooking. So when I do my bird, I cooked it about 155, maybe 160, depending. And where do we check it? Right here. Okay, right here at the area between the thigh and the lower breast. And we take our thermometer and we put it in back here. So this is like that. We get down here, and you can go the other side of the thigh. Okay, and why here? Because it's, it's covered. It's the hardest to reach. And you also want to check. I check 3, 4, 5 places. I also check my breast and so on with this, and make sure that it's at least that, 155, 160 when I pull it out. And then I can set it on the side, put a little foil over it, and it'll continue cooking probably past the 165 sometimes, depending on how big your turkey is. Okay, a small one like this, it only has to sit for 15 to 30 minutes to finish that cooking process. Also, you want it to sit before you start carving it. Okay, one, you don't want to carve a really hot turkey. That's no fun. And it's when it's too hot, it's not set up yet, and it just falls apart on you, so it's not easy to do. Okay, and then this, please. Okay, so what do I recommend? We're not putting stuffing in here. And what do we do for flavor? All right, I have what I always do, and I do this with chicken as well, is I prepare I make up aromatics. And these, well, we can show you here either way. This is a bowl that contains diced onions, carrots, celery, my mirepoix, which we always use. Okay. And I have some citrus in there. I have oranges and lemons. And I have a couple apples in here too, because I like the sweetness of the apples. And then I also do the, my aromatic herbs and stuff. I have fresh parsley, I have bay leaves, and I have thyme and rosemary this time around. Now you can put sage in there, you can use marjoram, all those flavors that you put in your bread stuffing that we used to call stuffing, has sage and thyme and marjoram are the three major herbs that go into that. So you can use that if you really like that flavor. You can go sweeter on this side. I put a little lemon juice in here too, because the citrus helps, and also the acid helps make sure you get a tender bird and makes for good drippings. So what do we do with this? I don't think I need the spoon, because I'm just gonna take my hands.
With a
And
glove.
yeah, you can wear gloves. It's much
You
actually,
are touching a bird.
yes. So it is safer, but then you can't touch anything with the gloved hands. So that's a big problem people usually make. Even in the restaurants, they wear gloves sometimes. This is some restaurants, okay? I'm not saying all, but the people that aren't really well trained, they they wear the gloves, but you're supposed to change your gloves every time you change food product or a job, or if you leave your station, whether it's going to the refrigerator or going to the bathroom. Obviously, you don't, I've seen people go into the bathroom with their gloves on. Okay, gross. But you really want to, you change them often. But so if you have gloves on and you go over to the sink and turn on the water, what'd you do? It's the same as not wearing them. You just contaminated the faucet. So every time you leave the station, you have to take off the gloves. So you'll use multiple pairs of gloves while you're doing this. Okay. I also have some pepper in here. So I stuffed this pretty full because believe there's a lot of air space in here, and this is all soft stuff. So it's not going to cause the turkey to cook really any slower, but it's to give really good flavor to the bird. And that, in my family, when it's all done, scoop this out, we put it in a bowl and we serve it. Everybody, this is like the best part of the bird. It's the best vegetable of the night. Now, if you want, you can take this little part that went over the fence last and kind of tuck it in there a little bit. Okay. But if the stuff is not really going to come out, or like I said, you can cut it off. So this bird is almost ready to go in. Excuse me, I need to wash my hands.
Ready?
Oh, okay. Give me a little soap, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Because I got to do some of the outside of the bird, right? We can't just put it in the oven like that naked.
You could.
I could. So I'm going to take a little bowl.
You're gonna baste it with butter.
And I'm going to put some.
Average person during every average family, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be, they used the equivalent of 3 pounds of butter in one meal. Between basting the turkey and making the mashed potatoes with butter and making the sweet potatoes mashed with butter, and then the pies, the pumpkin pie, the apple pie.
Excuse me.
We're trying to lower the sugar content as well.
And the salt and the fat and everything else. So I've got a little bit of sunflower neutral oil there. You could use olive oil if you want. And then I made this up earlier, but I forgot to do it for this one. So let's just whatever we want to use. So I use some black pepper, some paprika. I will use some, since I have it on the inside, I'll use rosemary. And I use my no salt added lemon pepper seasoning, which is really nice. Or I could use my other one that we get from Costco, the organic no salt seasoning, right? That's really nice. So whatever you want, whatever flavors. With the really important things are the paprika, the pepper. So we have lemon pepper, which you'll see I actually pretty heavy in here because we got a lot of bird to season. Okay, paprika is going to be pretty heavy. I'm going to do some extra probably at the end. Okay. Black pepper. I know I got lemon pepper. A little extra pepper never hurt.
Nice job there.
And some rosemary.
While he's doing that, because I'm cooking in the microwave oven, I think it cooks a little bit different.
Maybe. It's a regular 350 degree, but it's convection. So Okay, so I take this now and I'm just mix it all up. Got a nice little slurry here. Okay, that nice red slurry with all that paprika. And you can do this two ways. We can just rub it all around the outside. I don't know about you, how many people actually eat the skin? For us, it's not really the best. There's nothing like crisp turkey skin, that when, especially when it comes right out of the oven. That's usually the kitchen stuff, you know. You grab that and eat some of that. It's just like the oysters that are in the back of the thighs. That's the chef's delight, the kitchen stuff. So, or you can leave the paprika. You can do what we often call, and Mindy has a term for it. Was it?
Seduction of a chicken
Yes.
or turkey.
Seducing the bird. So we take our fingers and we pull the skin away from the breast. Really simple. You just gotta
Nicely massage your hand underneath.
You gotta
the
get
breast.
real personal with your birds, okay, guys? That's all there is to it. If you're squeamish about this, then it's a problem.
You
Try
can always
not
wear a
to
glove.
try not to tear the skin, okay? Because if you do, then it's gonna pull off of the bird when you cook it. So we try to get some under here. I try to get some down in the legs and thighs if I can. Yeah, just see one finger down there and get some in there. And I can rub some here. Okay, so now I take this, get it in here, and just,
I would do that with the glove in my hand just because it's icky.
yeah, I like it. I like getting personal with my food. Okay, so rub that around, get some down here, stuff it down there, some down here, stuff it down there. Okay, then the rest, I'm going to pull that skin back. See, it's all going to be here. This will pull away a little bit when we cook, but it's not that big a deal. Okay, perfection. Food is not perfection. Okay, my most hated term on menus, Mindy. What's the most hated?
Cooked till perfection.
Right, cooked to perfection.
We would never order it.
I would give students, I mean, they would lose so many points when we do menu writing in school at the Cordon Bleu or at the university,
Or JW.
you know, if they use that term, because what is perfection? Who knows? What food can be perfect? Is it your perfection? Is it my perfection? You know, everybody has a different version of perfection. So what really is it? Can you prepare something to perfection? I don't think so. So I would, when I write menus or I'm teaching people to write menus, I tell them to use the term prepared the way as you like it. Okay, prepared for you,
Or
prepared the way
prepare.
you know, but not to perfection, because you should be cooking it for your customers. So you find out, you know, the steak is cooked the way you ordered it. Chicken, things of that nature. Okay, especially when you get all these special orders. Okay, so now we've got this nice rubbed turkey here, all this nice stuff. We got some good seasoning on the outside. Excuse me. Was that for my hand? Okay, funny. And now I do, when I roast stuff like chicken and fish, uh, I really do use a bit of paprika. I like the color and the flavor. Uh, you know, it has a lot of opportunities, and you can use smoked paprika these days. You know, that's very available now, and also hot paprika. You know, hot Hungarian. If you like things spicy, I mean, it's like cayenne pepper. But I will take paprika and do
Rub.
a little extra all over it. Just a nice little sprinkling to give it some extra color.
And if you want it extra crispy on the outside, in the mix, you could put a little, not in the inside, you can put a little bit of cornstarch into it when you rub it on, and that'll help draw it out and dry out a little bit.
Okay, so we got a little extra here, you see, and that's going to cook and be beautifully brown. Okay.
When
No.
you're cooking, excuse me, I just want to make another safety. When you're cooking with poultry, make sure you have a cloth with soap on it or a sanitizer wipe, and remember to wipe off your seasoning bottles.
Anything you touch. Anything you touch. All right, so now what do we do with the bird? Here we go. And I've got this bowl of extra filling too. So what are we gonna do with that? I got some ideas here. Let me show you. So we're gonna roast it. I don't have enough, big roasting pans. So I do have this nice pan here. Anybody recognize this? It's a paella pan, okay? But it's right size, it's deep enough. Exactly. Now, when you roast a turkey or roast anything, you do not want it sitting on the bottom of the pan because then it just sits in all the juice and it doesn't cook right. You don't get the air underneath it and it doesn't get crispy and so on. So you don't want things just sitting and simmering in their juice. You want them raised above. So that's what we use roasting racks. Now here, like this, if you have your rectangular roasting pan, it probably came with a roasting rack, and that's what that before. This one doesn't fit on here, so I don't do that. But if you don't have one, also you could like your broiler pans like in your stove. You got a broiler pan with a broiler cover on it for broiling things, a rack, but it's solid. I mean, you can use that, or you can take that off and just put this inside the broiler pan, which should be all right.
Or if you can have a turkey cooker, but
Yeah.
you never get crispy turkey with the turkey oven.
Now, so what I do, another thing, if you don't have a roasting rack, what are we going to do? We can build a bridge with vegetables because we're going to, first of all, I'm going to take all these extra vegetables and herbs and seasonings. They're all going to go in the pan because they're going to help flavor the juice, which we're going to make our sauce or our gravy from. So all, with the same flavors here, we put it out all around, okay? And I have parsley in there, and don't throw away the parsley stems. See, I save these, okay? Again, parsley, just throw them in. We're gonna strain all this out.
Josh, is there anyone have any questions? And who's here?
Well, since we said hi, Shauna jumped in to say camera shots look great. She says they look so good. And Stephen Freeman Jr. jumped in to say good safety tips. Rob, he was mentioning your don't wash your poultry and meat. And did we say hi to Katie? I can't remember. And Tom, Katie and Tom. I think we said hi to everybody. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So here's what I've done. I built a bridge with vegetables. Take some celery and some carrots, okay, and lay them in the pan. And actually, I'm going to do this the other way, I think. I like it this way because I'm going to put the turkey across just for you guys. And now this will keep it above the bottom of the pan. Vegetables, carrots and celery, part of the two parts of the mirepoix. What's it going to do? Just add more flavor. So we can eat these too if we want. But all we want to do now is lift this bad boy up and lay it on top. Okay, and see, now it's not laying down in the bottom pan. I loved it that this paella pan actually works perfectly. If I'd known that, very happy. This is the first time I've done this one. It was out of necessity. It's like, wow, great.
We've been cleaning out some of our cookware.
Yes, for reasons that many of you know. So, all right. So this baby is now ready for the oven. So we're going to have a 350-degree oven, and you're going to go for about 11 minutes per pound. Will take you up to the proper temperature. Okay, but you still want to check it. 350. If you have a convection oven, probably 325. You want to turn it down 25 degrees. And so this one should take. This should take about 2 hours and 15 minutes, a little bit over 2 hours for this 11 some pound turkey. Okay, and again, we want it to be about 155, between 155 and 160 in the area. And you pull it out. Okay, you can go to 160, be extra safe, but it's going to get to that 165, but it's got a hold there. So, okay,
you watch it really well.
Yeah. So if you're immune compromised, you definitely want to be careful. So here's our yucky pan and my yucky hands again. See how often I get yucky.
So that would have been 4 pairs of gloves already.
Right. So, but if you're working in the sink, next to the sink, it's a little bit easier. Okay. Now, so we're going to put this to the side because I'm not going to put it in the oven yet. Questions on the process at this point? I know we just asked that, but
No questions yet, but we have been joined by
okay.
Mark Martucci
So-
and Elena. Hi, Mark. Hi,
Wow,
Elena.
hey. I also have my little olive oil spray bottle, and I do like to give it a little extra spritz.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
see.
you can.
Yes, before it goes in. It's just for that browning. Now, once you put it in the oven, you are going to need to baste it. Give it that first hour, and then, about every 15, 20 minutes, open up. If you got your baster, take some of that juice. Now, we are going to, one thing I
With
did
water.
forget, no water. You can use 2 ingredients, either some broth. I have some chicken broth here. Okay. And I'm going to put a couple of cups or so in. So we have some liquid in the pan. That's going to help steam, but also make sure all those vegetables don't just roast to the bottom of the pan. And that turkey to give off a lot of juice too. So, that was a cup, about a cup and a half for this smaller pan. Or you can use wine or a combination of both. Some white wine would be excellent. And
What
some
about bourbon?
bourbon.
You could.
What's wrong with bourbon? I don't know. Nothing. Okay. But I don't think save the bourbon for other things, not on the turkey. So close your eyes, everybody.
Nope, hold on. Wait a moment, please.
Wait a moment.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sure. I have to change things around. It's already dirty. It's got blood on top of it. Okay. Change cutting boards because I cannot carve my turkey on that same yucky cutting board, right? We don't want to cross-contaminate. Now, when we're going to carve, people keep asking me about knives and stuff, and those are great questions. Oh my goodness, I forgot something on that turkey, Mindy. What did I forget to do?
Guess it?
No, bring me back the turkey.
Sure.
I got to spend 5 more minutes. Oh my
Well,
goodness,
5
I
minutes.
really forgot something big time.
Okay. I
All
don't
right,
want to set
just
it down
lay-
yet.
No, it's all right. We'll wash the board. All right. The other thing I forgot about, guys, most important, if you can deal with this, is to make carving easier. What you really want to do is take your wishbone out before you put the turkey in the oven, while you're prepping it. Okay. So the wishbone is here in the neck end, and the top of the wishbone is here, and then the two, the legs of it run down the side. So you can pull back that skin right there, and you can kind of see. So you can use a boning knife or a sharp paring knife. I like the paring knife, just a little bit shorter. Follow that bone around, see? And then I got to go up. So I have to, that's why I like the paring knife, because it's a little bit safer than that big, long boning knife blade, okay, which is great. So again, you'll see the meat here. Just feel with your hand. Maybe you can see it moving right there. You'll feel that bone. So you just want to put your knife underneath the bone, all the way down and underneath, and it pops right out. Put your knife all the way through. Okay, tape it up to the top. And if Tom's here, I'm sure he's done this 1,000 times. So now you have the wishbone here, and all you have to do is get in there. You see, you got to get handy with your turkey again, and you're going to twist. Otherwise, you're going to break it. If you just try to yank it out, so you need to twist it either clockwise or counterclockwise. Come on. Sometimes it's a little tough, so you can take that knife up there and cut around it a little bit. Only takes a minute. But this makes it so much easier, and you'll see why. Okay, I think I got it. Yep, there we go. Boy, this baby, he doesn't want to. No wishes from this wishbone.
All
There we
right.
go.
Well,
No, it's really connected.
We
Here we
do
go.
have a question coming in.
Okay, let me just finish this right here. There we go. So now you see there's the wishbone. Okay, that's just going down below because we want to cook it. Now, we'll get rid of this. Okay, question away.
All right. So Elena says, I do have a question. What's his thought on brining a turkey? Does it add too much salt to the turkey itself to do that?
Yes, well,
It's
um,
fun.
two things about that. Again, I'm not sure if you were here for the opening of the show, but most turkeys, when you buy them, are already injected with a saline solution. Okay.
A lot of water.
Anywhere, this turkey was 8% or, yeah, 8% saline solution, turkey broth and salt water. Um, the other one I have is a little bit over 9. The big brand ones, the butter ones and the Jenny ones, those could be 21, 22%. Well, so they're basically already pre-brined, but you're going to lose a lot of that moisture. Brining is really important, uh, more important if you're going to smoke a turkey, because that's a long, slow, dry heat, and they can tend to dry out, and you want to get that flavor in there, which works through a chemical process of reverse osmosis. But yes, to answer your question directly, to make a proper brine, there's way too much salt in it, okay? And really raises the sodium levels of your turkey. If you cook it properly, do like I did, fill it with nice, moist aromatics like the apples and the oranges and onions and celery. All those things have all those vegetables and fruits
You can use apricots.
have lots of moisture, okay? And they will keep your turkey moist, because that's why people want to brine. They're afraid that it's going to be a dry turkey. And we don't need, if you fill it properly and you don't overcook it, it will not be dry. I guarantee you it will not be dry.
A piece of trivia: when you buy turkey from the deli, they deep fry it so it gets that nice golden brown cover on the outside before they cook it.
Yep. So hopefully that answers your question. Because I've done lots of brines, but they're mainly the two major ingredients are salt and sugar. Then you can put other flavorings in there to go into it. But and if you don't measure exactly, you can ruin your bird. I have friends that have done that, and they've just put a little bit too much salt in that brine, and the turkey was inedible. So you want to be careful. And most of it's done by weight, because it's all on percentage of weight, rather than cups and gallons and all that type of stuff. Oh,
While
so
you're doing that, I'm going to show them
I'm going to move on to carving.
I know I want to show them this before you start serving,
Okay.
because I'm taking it out of the oven to let it cool.
Okay.
So that
Is
is
our
pumpkin pudding,
or
pumpkin noodle pudding, whatever you want to call it.
noodle kugel.
And if you look, it's got nice crispy tops. We happen to like the crunchies here. If you don't like the crunchy, when it starts getting browned, if it's not cooked, you take a piece of foil and tent the foil over it.
If you like your stuff soft. Some people don't like crunch. I don't know about those people, but yeah.
But we're
So-
gonna let this set and cool.
Right, because we can't do anything with that right now, but it smells marvelous.
It does.
I need to, I keep trying to invent smell-o-vision, but I haven't done it yet. So let's see. Hey, Mindy, guess what?
Oh my God. Are we
My
cooking-
turkey's
by the
already
way,
roasted.
Are we cooking the other one?
No, I don't plan to.
And
We
where-
could.
Where are we gonna put it?
I don't know. In the other cooler, in the fridge. It
Yeah,
came out of the
cook it.
fridge and go back in the
Why don't we
fridge.
cook it?
Okay.
So I wasn't smoking.
So
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Smoke it tomorrow. That's fine.
Okay.
Mark
so
here.
We're
hold on,
arguing about the other
hold
turkey.
on,
What?
Hold on. Mark here says, I thought I knew how to prep a bird. Had no idea how much I don't know. Right on, Mark. I get it. Elena says, thank you so much for that information. I'm so glad I asked that question. Yes, I agree, Elena. I had no idea. Katie says, I missed why you removed the wishbone. And I said, easier to carve, coming up next.
Yep. And that's what the show is all about, guys. That's why we do what we do. So it's still a little hot.
I
Okay.
can hold this closer for you.
No, I can lift it up and put it over there.
Okay.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to put it on the board.
I do, but I'm just going to put it here so they can see it before I move it.
Ah.
Okay. So here is our finished bird. Okay. I'm moving that a little bit, making Josh crazy, but nice color. Okay. This thing took just over 2 hours to roast. Okay. Now I will take it out, put it back. Okay. And Mindy has nice way to do it, a fork and a spoon. Okay. Got to get it. Oh, yep, I sprayed the.
Grit.
Mm-hmm. I want the other way around. There we go. And
Show the wishbone.
yep, so there's my wishbone on top. And here's the pan with all the nice
Yummies.
juices and everything in it. Okay, well, you can't see that there. There we go. Now, what I do is take this, strain it, put it on top of the stove because I got the necks in there. I have the wing tips in there, everything I could, plus all the extra leftover stuff, filling my aromatics and the chicken stock. So this I'll just I'll strain it, put it on the stove, let it reduce a little bit, season it if needed, and I'll thicken it up either with a roux or it's better for us is some cornstarch, or just reduce it enough to make it naturally thick. Okay, the
If you got
demi-glace
time.
state, which is the new natural one, which is just a reduction, if you have enough. Okay, now here's our bird, and you're going to ask, okay, so what do we do first? Now, let me suggest to you something. First of all, the right knife. I got two knives here. One's a carving knife. Okay, that's what it's made for, slicer. And this is a 10-inch chef's knife. This is my 40-year-old Henkel. That's 10 instead of 8. It's much longer. But it's also got the height of the blade is much less. It's not really fat or deep like the typical chef's knives. So you want something long so you can make nice long strokes with your knife. I'm
Or
going to try the carving knife.
you can still use an electric turkey knife.
Well, yes, electric knives do work well. Now I'm left-handed, so two things. What I prefer to do, if you really want to carve a turkey like a chef, you're going to bring it out here on the cutting board, bring it out to the table, show everybody your mastery of roasting turkeys. Okay, maybe take a slice off. Now to do that, you make a horizontal slice on the breast. Turn this for
Okay.
you, and then cut it in. Take a horizontal slice to the bone, and then start cutting down. Okay, and you can take off your first piece and keep going. Okay, see how nice that is. Okay, now what you really want to do though, after you show them your bird and maybe take a little slice off, you want to take it back to the kitchen and do the dirty work there, because in order to do a turkey properly, okay, you really need, excuse me, you need to remove the legs and thighs first, okay, and the wings. They should be nice and tender. So you see where the end of the wing is, just cut around in a circle there, and you will find, and you can, again, I'm going to get my hands into it and give it a little pull, and you'll see when that skin gets out of the way where the joint is. Put your knife in the middle of the joint. See, there's the wing. We can take it. There's a wing. Leg and thigh, same way. We're going to cut along the bone there. Now, if you want, you can just take the drummy off. Go ahead and remove that. Not as easy as a chicken, okay? Chicken's typically much
The
easier.
bones are softer. They're younger.
Well, they're easier to find the joints too. See, there's the drumstick. Now the thigh is kind of in the back. The bone here is way up here, okay? So easiest way is really to crack it and take it off. Because I say this in the kitchen, this is what happens. Okay, you want to do it like a chef in a hotel or a restaurant. See, there we go. Heard that thing pop. Let's take it off. Come on. There we go. Now the thigh. So we don't want all this skin, all this fatty skin. The thigh, you're going to carve. Again, see, here's a lot of fat from underneath the skin. See, you don't want to do this at the table. You want to clean it up like that and make it look really nice. Gloves. Here's another pair of gloves, Mindy. So now you can take your knife, take that meat right off the bone. Now, if you got people that like to chew on the bones,
Leave
okay,
some meat on them.
leave some meat on it.
I think I told you at one other
No,
meeting, we always
no.
cook 2 turkeys on Thanksgiving
Used to.
when all our parents were alive, because my mother wanted the bones and his mother wanted the bones. So I just buy smaller turkeys and they each get their own carcass.
Yeah, they wouldn't eat any sliced meat. They just go after the bones. So that, now you can take your dark meat and just, slice it up.
Make a couple slices of turkey.
I will.
And
Let me
if the
finish here.
pillow's cool enough yet.
Okay. We're going to slice and slice. Okay. Now, you can move this side and use the chef's knife for that. Okay. A couple more here. Just let me get this off of here. Okay. Now, underneath here, by the way, is that right here, there's a little pocket behind the thigh.
It's called the oyster.
This is a piece of meat that's called the oyster. And it is the most tender and delicious piece of meat on the turkey or the chicken. You see, it looks like an oyster. Okay, I think I left a little bit there. And that is always, never makes it to the dinner table, okay? That's where it goes. Right in whoever happens to be in the kitchen, goes right in their mouth. Now, let me show you.
Got 2 minutes left on.
Well, we're close. Let me show you why. I'm going to take off the skin, okay? Because it's not good for us. Even as delicious as it is, we've all had to give some things up, right? We try not to eat fried chicken anymore. We don't eat too many French fries, all those types of things. Salty potato chips, throw the skin. Now, I did take out the wishbone, okay, back here on this one already. So in the center here, right there underneath that little flap, you can see is the keel bone. They call it the keel bone because it looks like the keel of a boat, okay? And this is what there's breast lobe 1 and breast lobe 2. So if you take your knife and just cut along that keel bone, draw the knife down, separate it, you can feel the ribs. The rest of the turkey, once you get it, is just going to fall right off the bone, the rib bones. See that? Because it's the wishbone that holds everything together.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
I might
And
have to cook this a little longer.
you undercooked it. Okay. So there's a beautiful breast. And we can do the same thing on the other side as well if we wanted to. And just put straight down. Okay. Now I haven't taken off the leg and wing on this side, but that's okay. They're just going to come right with it. So you see the whole thing just comes right off. And have a nice clean carcass and with all the meat off of it. This is why you want to do this in the kitchen. Okay. And then here's the carcass that I would give to my mother. And I have another aunt. They're the same. My whole family, my grandmother, my aunts, their good friends, all of them, they would all the same thing. They just wanted to
Eat the turkey.
eat the meat off the bone because the meat's always sweetest closer to the bone. Okay, look at that beautiful breast. It's like you got it at the grocery store, right? A nice roasted turkey breast. Okay, but that's because you take out the wishbone. That's why we do that. And we're going to take those off. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. Now, just so you know, it doesn't matter what direction you carve turkey in. You can go up and down, sideways, the turkey meat doesn't really matter. So just here, I will do this, give you some meat. So you can slice it this way. You get a little bit better yield out of it for people. Get it. I'm wearing gloves, so I'm not touching the food, or I'm using a fork.
He's touching the food, guys. He does not have a glove on his hand.
Oh, shh.
I'm not supposed to tell them.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. Or,
no, I think that's a good start. You can
okay.
move that out of the way.
Excuse me. Let me take this over to the
And
other side.
depending on what your other foods are you want to add, there's our turkey and our,
We really need some
Pumpkin.
green on that
we need
plate.
some greens, some green beans without the
slide
mushroom
that dish
sauce.
out a little bit more.
Huh?
Slide the dish to the a little bit more to the right. There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
Fork.
Yeah, you didn't get a nice. Okay.
on
A little
top.
under. So this will, when this is done and cold,
We didn't let it cool.
it's a little bit too hot. The kogo will cut in nice, clean squares, and you can take it out of the pan and put it on a serving tray or a platter. If you're doing it, the buffet, at the table, family style, for passing around a buffet. You don't have to serve it in the cooking, the baking pan, especially if you're using a metal one, and just let it cool. And even put it, remake it the day ahead, put it in the refrigerator.
And
And then the
freeze
next
it.
day, cut it, portion it, and you can heat it back in the oven or in the microwave. It's really perfect for that as
Yep,
well.
and you can
Easy,
freeze it as well.
easy peasy. Now that is a little, say, I just missing my color, but I used up all my parsley already.
That's okay. We have green beans with it.
Oh, wait, no, we didn't do. Here, I got it.
Vegetables?
Mm,
Oh, well, I'm going to try this
Go
anyway.
right for it, honey.
Mm. Much better than the first one. I like it.
Good.
Well, I used cottage cheese like the recipe said. Eh,
Was it a flavor and texture change, or just the flavor
It,
change?
well, no, it's just flavor change more than texture
Right, but yeah,
because the cottage cheese melted into everything.
it was kind of dry.
And
Made
so
some
this.
changes, did some things to
Yeah,
mix it
it
up.
could be softer, but
Okay.
Also, hi
So
Molly.
here's that little.
all I know it's delicious and I'm eating it.
So there's our little bowl of the veg that came out of the inside, the turkey. That is delicious. It's all cooked in turkey juice plus the stuff. Don't, we're gonna strain it, but you don't have to throw that away. So let me take a little bite.
It's going to take a taste.
Definitely.
Improved.
Very good.
And we are going to take a little taste of turkey. We are going to end the show wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving.
And we're missing. What's this missing?
Cranberries.
Oh, cranberries or applesauce.
I
like
make my own
applesauce.
cranberries. They make the fresh cranberry and orange. If you have a food processor, throw the cranberries in there with an orange and press the button.
Yep, that's some sugar.
Mm.
But
That looks
just
delightful.
2 to 3 ingredients, and pulse until it's well chopped, and then you have orange cranberry relish. Don't even have to cook the cranberries. It's a raw relish, and it's absolutely delicious. All right.
You want to thank everybody for watching?
Absolutely.
No, not at all. I'm unappreciative.
And
No, I want to say
remind
thank
them
you.
to like and share.
I will.
Well, you
I
did
got
it
it.
for us. Thank you.
Yeah. So I wasn't just going to go, woo. Hey, guys. So everybody, thanks for coming. We always enjoy when you come watch the show. Hit that like button, share it to your friends and your family, and everybody you know. Let them know about the program. It really helps. There's a donation button nearby so you can make donations. Remember, Aortic Hope is a 501c3 charity, and we run totally with volunteers. We have we need work on donations, or it comes out of our pocket to do these things. So be rare, hit that donation button if you can. We will be back the first Thursday in December, where I will be doing holiday entertaining. And then the next show after that will be December 18th, I think this is the Thursday,
Mhm.
and that will be the New Year's Day brunch, not New Year's Eve party, because
So
I'll
Rob
cover
will,
that with the holidays.
Rob will be doing that one on his own.
Yeah, Mindy will be up north. She'll be getting used to the cold. So, yeah, so that's our schedule. We appreciate everybody, and we want you to eat healthy, stay healthy, live long, and thank you for visiting the Aortic Kitchen. I'm Rob Seltzer, the Aortic Chef,
Mindy Seltzer, the aortic dietitian.
saying good night.
Good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving to everybody.